I'm Kristin, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to share with you some tips on how you can make your fresh flowers last longer. If you love getting fresh flowers but you hate having them die in just a couple days, then stick around for this video. I am here today to explain to you what I do to make my fresh flowers last way longer. If you saw my Valentine's Day video, then you know that fresh flowers are one of my very favorite things, and I'm sure I'm not alone in that. But if you're trying hard to live a frugal lifestyle, sometimes it seems silly to spend what could be a lot of money on something that is literally going to die in just a couple days. So it can feel like you're kind of throwing your money away. If you follow me on Instagram, then you might have seen my stories on this the other week, and I got such a good response to them that I decided I should make it a video for YouTube as well. Now I have to tell you, if you see how sorry these are looking, I really should have done this a couple days ago. I'm not sure how much more time I'm going to get out of these specific flowers. I have had these since February 13th. My husband got me these for Valentine's Day, and these are actually a very small part of what was a big bouquet. It was so big that I was able to split them into two separate vases. And being that we just had Valentine's Day, sorry, I know the frame is weird on this, but this is a weird angle for me to catch with my phone, so hopefully you can see this okay. But so many women have flowers left over from Valentine's Day, so I thought this would be a good time to quickly show you how you can extend the life of your flowers and, more importantly, get your money's worth when you buy fresh flowers. My first tip is always buy the cheaper flowers. Believe it or not, we have tested this for years, and anytime my husband has bought me expensive flowers from an actual flower shop, they've barely lasted me. And every single time he's gotten them somewhere cheap like Sam's Club or Aldi or Trader Joe's, they have lasted 2, sometimes 3 times as long. Also, when I get flowers from outside in my garden, these are the same tips I use, and it helps me keep them around for weeks at a time. The first thing I do is grab a whole bunch of paper towels. So I'm going to grab my paper towels and lay them out on my counter. You might make a little bit of a mess with this, but it's all right. And I take out the flowers. And you can see this water's pretty nasty. It's all cloudy. I don't know if you can tell, but there's dead leaves in there. So just spill that out, and I take a little bit of soap and just wash out the vase, kind of. Just real lightly. I don't worry about scrubbing it, just to get all the dead stuff out. Okay, I'm just gonna set this in the sink and let that dry for a minute. The next thing I do is I pull all the flowers apart, and any leaves that are dead or are down in the area that will sit in the water in your vase, I just pull off. I have read somewhere before that these dead leaves, as they sit in the water and decompose, that they actually can make your flowers die faster. So I normally pull most of the leaves off from probably the lower 2/3 of the flowers when I'm putting them in water for the very first time. I don't know if I was in a rush this time or what, but I should have pulled all these off to begin with, and that probably would have helped right from the beginning. See how this one's super sad here? She looks like she's crying. I'm gonna take that one off altogether. So this is completely pruned of all the leaves. Can you see that on the bottom? So I'm gonna put that to the side and go ahead and do that with the rest of the pieces. This is just some greenery. I'm gonna pull these couple bottom ones down. As I'm going through, anything that is completely dried or seems completely dead, like these, I'm gonna just get rid of altogether. So every time you do this, and I sometimes do this twice throughout the life of my fresh flowers, and each time you do this, you're going to get rid of a couple of the pieces, and your bouquet is going to get smaller and smaller, but they'll still look good for a few days. So again, you're just extending the life of your flowers and really getting more out of the money you spent. So these I'm going to get rid of altogether. These guys, some of them are looking okay, some of them are not, so I'll again just pull the dead ones off completely. Anything that looks really bad, I'm just going to get rid of altogether. because you don't want to have a nice bouquet of flowers and then have a couple of the dead ones poking out. Doesn't look nice for your bouquet. So I only have a couple left on this one, but that's okay. These baby roses are completely dead. I'm going to get rid of those. So as I mentioned, you can see these are starting to brown around the outside. These should have had this done and had fresh water a couple days ago, and that probably wouldn't be happening yet. But I'm still going to keep going, and I think I can get at least another 4-ish, 5 days out of these flowers. Sometimes, if I can do it without ruining the flower, I'll pull a couple of the dead petals off. Sorry, my dogs. Now, if I can't do that, see, that actually looks pretty good. If I can't do that without ruining the flower itself, then I'll probably just leave them on. And again, this is mostly just greenery. These are dead. All of these leaves, you can see they're very wilted. In fact, I'm going to get rid of that whole piece. And these here, they're not too bad. They're browning, but they're not dry and completely brittle yet, so I'm going to hang on to those too. Now the next thing I do is fill my vase back up. I usually fill it about 2/3, and I use lukewarm water. So you don't want it ice cold, and obviously you don't want it hot. Kind of like room temperature, so I'm going to let the water run for a minute and fill the vase up here. So I put about this much water in, and now there's a whole bunch of different tips and tricks you can get online about what to add to your water to extend the life of your flowers. I usually put a couple teaspoons, well, I don't measure, I just grab some with my hands and throw just normal sugar in here. I recently tried to add some bleach that I read online and I never tried before, as I did the flowers in the other room, and they seem to be holding up well. So you could try bleach. I've read crushed aspirin before, a whole bunch of different things. I think some of them probably work and some of them probably do not. Just maybe experiment for yourself. But I am going to grab a little bit of sugar and put it in here, and a little bit of bleach, since I've tried that probably a week and a half ago, and the flowers in the other room are still looking pretty good. Okay, so like I said, I don't measure. I just grabbed a little bit of sugar. I'm gonna put that in. That's just normal table sugar. You don't want to use any kind of like stevia or sweet and low, nothing like that, just regular sugar. And then here's some bleach, and I don't measure this either. Now the next thing you want to do is trim the actual flowers, and you want to do this on an angle. So kind of look and feel. You can tell, if you look at this really closely, you can tell from about here to here it's browning. So that's dying, and I want to cut that whole section off. And you want to make sure you cut it at an angle. I always knew to cut flowers this way, but I never was quite sure why. And I had somebody message me on Instagram when I posted these stories, and she said she was a florist, and you're supposed to cut it on an angle, because if it's not on an angle and you cut it flat, it's going to sit flush against the bottom of your vase, and I believe not be able to really absorb the water and the stuff you put in the water to help your flowers live longer. So you want to cut this on an angle like so. And then go ahead and put that back in. So I'm going to just cut all these at an angle quickly where they appear to be dead. And then you can just arrange them however you see fit. And now I do have this greenery. I wish I still had another piece of this to put on the other side. And I'm looking at this now as I'm going to put this in my water, and it looks like these bottom couple leaves would still be in the water. So I want to make sure I take those off. Okay guys, that is it. It's super simple. Like I said, these should have been done days ago, but you can tell they already look 10 times better than they did when we started. And I bet you I can get another couple days out of these for sure. Go ahead and give this a try. next time you have fresh flowers, and let me know in the comments if you have any tips of your own that have served you well, because I would love to try them and I love seeing how long I can get out of my flowers. I'm going to go ahead and put these back up in my office and enjoy them for another couple days. If you like this video, I hope you'll go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Bye!